Hey guys, what is up? It's Datch here, back again with another video, and today we are going to be playing Carl is Famous. I nearly said stay up late with Carl because that's the name of the show. We're going to be playing Carl is Famous again. We're trying to get all the endings. Let's get into it. What I didn't notice about before was the fact that I looked back on my old episode, my first one, and it turns out we stole Techno Jim, and when we did, we could have interviewed him instead, which I want to do now. So that's what the first objective is going to be. Okay, so I can steal Techno Jim, and once I do this, nothing matters from now on. I'm just going to click stuff. Boom. No more hours. I only had 4 hours left or something. Carl hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuity. As Carl approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Good evening, Carl. I've been looking forward to being here. Yes, I knew it. It was after this bit. Interview Techno Jim instead. Carl roughly shoved Rachel out of her chair and placed Techno Jim in her place. Hello, Techno Jim. I'm going to interview you today. Carl grasped Techno Jim's hand and tried to shake it, but instead it tore off of the cardboard frame. Carl's producer, sensing viral media, pulled the bewildered Rachel out of frame and motioned for the crew to go live. The cameramen moved, lights flashed, and suddenly the studio was on air. Hi, I'm Carl. And tonight, we're going to interview a very special guest. He pointed to Techno Jim. Techno Jim started to smoke. Oh, that's a bad habit, Jim. Would you like to introduce yourself? Knowing Jim would probably not speak, Carl took it upon himself to be his voice as well. Hi, Carl. My name is Rachel May, and I am a very special guest. I'm trying to see what it's like if a guy tries to do a girl voice. But Rachel's expression of confusion turned into shock. I would too. Well, Rachel, you look way too thin and absolutely terrible. You should feel ugly. Wow, Carl! I so wish I looked like you. Techno Jim burst into flames. Not surprised Rachel hasn't yet. Instantaneously, the sprinkler system initiated. Curtains of water poured down from the rafters. Within seconds, the production equipment was doused in water. The set was soon abuzz with electrical fires. Carl's crew abandoned their post as cameramen, and sound mixers tried to put out the fire. As the crew scrambled around, the cameras continued to run. Carl sat, motionless, staring forward. Eventually, as the fires were put out, Carl's producer shut off the broadcast, leaving Carl's vacant stare as the final frame. Carl's ratings skyrocketed. Techno Jim became a staple on the show, often ending up being destroyed by the end of each episode. Sadly. R.I.P. Techno Jim. Although Rachel did not come back on the show, her cardboard portrayal did. Rachel was very popular. You can barely tell the difference. Carl interviewed Rachel. Oh cool, I've got a line now. So, I guess I've won bingo apparently. I don't know how to play this game. Sadly, I'm still trying to work out what this blue box is for, but I think I might know why it's there. Because you know how they've got those blue boxes in the game? What if we used all of them and it came to this? Thing is, you unlock a level every time and you get a blue box every time you unlock a level. So maybe I need to discover everything before I get the final one. So I don't think I'm going to be getting it anytime soon. Or maybe I could get it anytime soon, I'm just really bad at the game. So let's try this again. Let's try withering away again. because I don't seem to do that very often. Carl is now a ghost. It does not relieve him of his responsibilities. I want to see what would happen if I do other things now. Wait, that's what I'm meant to be doing the entire time. So, gonna prepare breakfast, eat, turn to kitchen, turn to hallway, leave apartment, and I'm gonna see if I can haunt around. Carl felt a sudden pull at his heart. Had he abandoned his job as a ghost? Was he fulfilling his spooky, thrill role that he accepted while lying in bed this morning? Carl realised he has no other choice. He must spend this day spooking around. Is this like an existential crisis but ghost version? Carl decided he should make a plan about who or where he should spook. So I've done these two before, I think. So I'm going to try spook himself now. Carl could think of nobody better to spook than himself. Carl sat on the sidewalk and looked at the ground. Took a deep breath. Carl began to scream, uncontrollably, as he had managed to spook himself by his very existence. Carl jumped up from the sidewalk and began to run around, flailing his arms. Unfortunately, Carl was unable to escape the fact that he was himself. Carl spent several hours screaming. But as he screamed, he realised it was coming time for Rachel's interview. Continue screaming, Carl travelled towards his studio. That evening, Carl tried to do well by his duties and conduct the interview with Rachel. But being able to only express pure terror in the episode consisted of Rachel watching him scream. The episode was very popular, as Carl was asked to continue screaming in their next episode, and the next. Carl's talk show was rebranded to Carl is Scared, with Carl. The studio went on to produce many episodes. Carl remained existentially terrified of himself. Carl haunted himself. I think that's got to be my favourite ending by far. So where did that leave us? Oh, spooked Carl. Alright, so we've got a line here, and I see these are all the spooked ones. I think that the spooked ones were added in later to the game, because by the looks of things, this seems to be sectioned off from everything else. Because if you block out the three here, you can see that it's meant to be a box. But I wouldn't know, maybe it's the game designers. I have no idea what is happening in this game, and I still don't know, so... Okay guys, we're going to do one more episode, and that's it. I mean, not episode, one more ending. So... I'm hoping I can get this one here or this one here, so I can be close to finishing a row. But with how I play the game, I don't know which one's going to come next. I'm not sure if there's a way for me to know which one's going to come next. So I'm just going to wait. Just see what comes next. Carl firmly pressed his ear into the carpet, hoping to hear some stray words from the neighbours below. I heard Rachel May is going out on a trip out of the country soon. Oh, girlfriend, tell me more. I have a bad girl voice. Well, what I will tell you is that every night I done a mess that looks like a bug in a fight. Miss Stoner's whatever. There was a stunned silence. Then a door opened. Someone exited the neighbour's apartment. Returned to apartment. And we've only got 1 hour left, so this doesn't make any difference, so I'm just going to go into the bedroom. Boom. Exit bedroom. Carl hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. As Carl approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Good evening, Carl. I've been looking forward to being here. You won't, Carl responded. As I as rail, Rachel. He extends his hand in greeting. Your most welcome guest. They exchange pleasantries, blah blah blah. Yeah, this is what I need to do. Good evening, everybody. My neighbour is a bug vigilante. Nothing more said on the matter, he fell silent. Rachel, also on camera, stared at her hands and wondered when she was going to be introduced. The producers started to cut to different camera angles to break the tension. Carl continued to remain silent and stare forward blankly. After several minutes, neighbour Gabby walked out onto the set. Hi everyone, my name is Gabby and I'm not a bug vigilante. False, as Gabby returned staring forward. Gabby began to reply but was interrupted by a bug-shaped intercom on her belt. That's not suspicious at all. Bug girl, it squawked. A robbery is in progress on East 3rd. Report immediate. Gabby threw the intercom onto the ground and crushed it under her foot. After a beat, she spoke again. Something has come up. I suddenly must go. Gabby left the set. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for joining us, Rachel. Carl got up, shook Rachel's hand and walked past the cameras, leaving her alone. Not knowing what else to do, the producer ended the broadcast. In the coming days, fans of both Rachel and Carl dubbed the show as a masterpiece of television. Stay up late with Carl. With Carl's online pages were updated to reflect this broadcast as something. I didn't read that. As Carl producer later tried to have Rachel on the show again, but she was very busy. Carl talked about Gabby. So she's the one that tackled... Okay, so she's the one that tackled Rachel and got her arrested, and we've been living next to a bug vigilante this whole time, who I think also ran us over. Didn't they run us over? Yeah, she did. Yeah, so let's see where that lands us. Alright, Is that where gossip is? I honestly don't know. And I don't think I'll ever know. Unless you can actually click these things and see when you got them. That would be way better. But it's not. I can't complain. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If this happens to be the first video you've seen by me, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. And yeah, I guess that's it for today. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, blah blah blah. Check out Carl is Famous, it's on Steam. And I'll see you in the next one.